The eventual return of democratic governance in Nigeria in 1999 after a prolonged era of military interregnum once more revived the third arm of government, the legislature, which, unlike the executive and judicial arms, has been sidelined from the scheme of government. That development accorded assertive voices to the crop of legislators at the national stage to partake in legislative function that deepened the roots of the nation's nascent democracy. Unfolding events, and especially the upper chamber of the National Assembly, were at that point occasioned by vibrancy of debates, leadership tussles, political scheming, alliances, and near breakpoints crises customary to evolving democracies. Those were the moments when some of the legislative actors stood out in terms of capacity, broad-based experience, and crisis management strategies that enabled them to survive the waves of earth-shaking political storms the Assembly had to contend with over time. At the center of every such storm was the leader of the Senate, the third on the leadership hierarchy of the upper chamber, a power-wielding stakeholder that called the shots at plenary and set direction for the legislative business. That was the position once occupied by a foremost Kaduna state politician, Senator Alhatu Sarki Tafida, a prolific multidisciplinary personality that has over time asserted himself as a national political asset. Before his political exploits, Tafida was an accomplished physician with outstanding records of academic achievements and professional practice across multiple institutions he traversed both at home and abroad. Senator Alhatu Sarki Tafida's journey to political stardom took off from here, the Tafida's family house in the ancient city of Zaria, the traditional headquarters of Kaduna State, where he experienced a humble beginning, starting his early childhood as a pupil in a traditional Islamic school, like all his contemporaries that were born and raised in the Zazo traditional setup. Unlike many victims of the conservative North ideology of opposition to Western education that saw many parents refusing to let their wards enroll in elementary schools, Tafida had the blessing of a liberal working-class parents that needed no persuasion to let him go to school. He, however, had to contend with challenges of derogatory mockery from his peers anytime he set up for school. Western education was to him the key that unlocked his endowments of talent and vision, which eventually made him certain in his ability to assert his destiny. The real deal of self-discovery and definitive determination of future prospect for Sarki Tafida came with his enrollment into Barewa College, Zaria. This is the famous Barewa College, Zaria in Kaduna State, established in 1921 by British Governor General Hugh Clifford. From this great alma mater, illustrious Nigerians have been trained and nurtured to become great nationalists that have taken the front and center stage in reshaping the collective destiny of Nigeria. Among these illustrious Nigerians were the first and only Prime Minister of the country and 4 other military and civilian heads of government. On this edition of Conversation with History, our guest is an equally assertive, prolific alumnus of this great institution that has conquered the medical profession with ease, traversed and triumphed across the political scene and equally the diplomatic scene. Welcome to the world of Dr. Alhatu Sarki Tafida.
I did my primary school, elementary school, it's called elementary school. After 6 years, or 5, I think, at that time, I went to middle school. Middle school is called middle school because again there were no public secondary schools in Kaduna State or in the north. All the middle schools, all in all the provinces.
Early in his educational pursuit, young Tafida's high IQ was noticed and appreciated. At a point, he got treated according to his intellectual prowess, thereby enjoying an edge over his peers.
I was there after 2 years. I took the exam to go to the famous Barewa College, Zaria. At that time, you are allowed to take the exam only after 3 years, but I was allowed to take my own after 2 years, and I passed the exam, and I went to Zaria College. They thought I was doing well, and I thought too I was doing well because it was automatic. There wasn't extra effort to be doing well at that time. Just God made it that way. It was easy. From the day I went to the middle school up to the day I was asked to take the exam, I was number 2 in all subjects. So I was asked to take my exam to Zaria College at that time. Everybody was aspiring to be in Zaria College. Everybody, but only very few people could make it. So I went to Zaria College, and in Zaria College, life was simple, no brutal effort to discipline people. It was nice. Mostly white people, 90% expatriate, whites. Of course, we have a few Nigerians. I think most of them from the south, teaching us special subjects like woodwork, some other things that Arabic from the north. We have people teaching us like late Justice Bashari Sambo. He was a teacher in Arabic and so on.
What would you describe as your childhood dreams?
I was interested to do medicine. I wanted to do medicine right from the time I found myself in Zaria College. And there were people like me from other states.
With steady and successful advancement in his educational career, dotted with sparkling records of excellence, Dalhatu Sarki Tafida remained focused and certain about the future. He was so focused and certain that the guidance and counseling master of the day got almost angered by Tafida's definitive and uncompromising stand on his career choice.
The interesting part of the thing was that the final year
at Zaria College.
At Zaria College, with a teacher, the principal will come and teach, ask each student, counseling we call it, what do you want to do? What do you want to do when you finish here?
Yes.
Each student would be asked that one. So they came to me. They said, Dalhatu, says, sir, what do you want to do when you leave here? I said, I want to do medicine. So he wrote down this. What else? What is your second choice? Say, sir, I think medicine is my first and second choice. He was worried and this thing. He said, medicine. He wrote it down, but you could see from his look, he wasn't very happy.
Yes.
He said, what is the, finally, I believe you will have a third choice.
Yes.
I said, sir, medicine or nothing. He became, became annoyed and sent me out. I went out, but, I was not humiliated.
Okay.
He called me back after time. I said, sir, I need this. I believe in myself. I want to do medicine, nothing else. What he wrote down, the thing I told him. And when we finished, Zaria
College,
College.
yes.
Of course, they selected, it was during Sardauna's time,
Yes.
very pragmatic human being. He wanted what is medicine we were looking for, because wherever you looked in the north at that time, you see Indians, Pakistanis, so many other foreigners, doctors in the medical field. And he wanted northerners, many more northerners to become doctors. And what we learned in Barewa College was not enough to let us go in to the university directly, unless we have some additional subject. So they opened a special class in Kepi, what we call higher school certificate. Higher school, where I would study more of the subjects we would do in the university, like physics, chemistry, biology.
True to his aspiration rooted in the depth of his conviction, this potential medical doctor finally had his wish done. He secured admission into the College of Medicine, University of Lagos. That too after friction with authorities that granted him scholarship for overseas studies of a course other than his long-decided choice.
We were in Lagos Medical School, northerners, I think 5 or 6 northerners.
In the whole north?
In the whole north, 5. I was a bit late even going to the university because I was struggling with government. The government gave me a scholarship after my HSC to go to Soviet Union to study mining engineering.
Okay.
But I didn't like it. You can see right from my responses.
Exactly.
I didn't want to do that. But the government felt I could do that. They also needed people, specialists in that area. I didn't like it. It was a big tug-of-war. By the time the government agreed for me to go to a university for medicine, I was late by about a month or so. Though I think about 3 weeks. I went to Lagos University. I met my colleagues there and I joined them.
Okay.
But it was interesting for most of these people, Igbos and Yorubas, our compatriots, so to say. They were interested to see a Hausa man coming to study medicine from the north. Many felt that maybe I didn't even do my secondary school. But when you saw the tendency, you ignored. You just continued to be friends and so on. We were there until after a few months we had started to have a test and exam. Then they realized that those people that were considered to be just sent because of Sardauna's influence were actually there on their own merit.
Yes.
And so things died out, Or if you talk about north or south, it's just for joke.
The reality prevails.
Yeah. One example I can remember, we had the Yoruba man, professor, teaching us physics. physiology rather. Physiology. That's pre-med. He gave us the first test, and when the result came out, of course, when he came out, before he gave out the result, he said, "Who is Tafida?" Raised my hand. I said, "I'm the one." He said, "Oh, I'm surprised. You gave me exactly what I wanted." So since that day, the question on whether he did even secondary school or not stopped.
After a successful studies leading to the out of 2 bachelor degrees as well as early career, Tafida upped his quest for enhanced professionalism and deeper professional course abroad.
I went to UK. It was the school was in Newcastle upon Tyne, northern part of England. I was met in London by a friend and a classmate working in foreign service. Took me to his house. I was there for it was around Christmas, because I left here on the 1st of January 1970. Was there until after the 4th, all these holiday finished. So I flew to Newcastle by air, because I didn't know my way, so I flew to Newcastle. I was there. I met him. He met me. He said, Dalatu, you know these English people, they will study your name like they do their own. He said, Dalatu. Then he looked at me and said, "You look like Gawang." Gawang was just winning the war in Nigeria.
Okay.
He said, "You look like Gawang. You come from the same place." Yes, we come from the same place, but different local government.
Yes.
Then he said, "That's nice," and so on. So he told me the rituals I should go settle. I started going to hospital, lectures, and so on. And after 6 months, sometime in June also, normally they have a program for part 1 and part 2, final. So I took part 1 after 6 months. I told my professor, Professor Carr was my supervisor. He said, Dalatu, isn't that too early? He said, "Well, I thought it's all right, it's trial, but I thought I've read enough." So I went to do part 1. I passed. When I brought the result to him, he was very, very happy. He said, "But don't attempt to go for the part 2. You see, one thing I thought those, at least up to our time, I don't know nowadays what they do mostly Nigerian specialty courses. Apart from Professor Jibril Aminu,
Yes.
there was nobody who finished his specialty as quickly as myself.
Armed with certified professional competence, Dr. Alhatu Sarki Tafida returned home to the challenges of practice and setting the pace for greater future of health care services in the old Kaduna state.
I was already in Kaduna working. I was working in Kaduna. I worked in Kaduna. After 3 years, I was posted back to the headquarters. I was made a PAMSEC by late Group Captain Usman Jibrin. And as a PAMSEC, I was there, so I decided to send away the Pakistanis and the Indians who were running the headquarters. And I brought in Nigerian, those people from Kaduna State. One to be like a deputy to me in charge of this thing. Another one to be deputy to, like an assistant to the other. I brought 4. 2 from Kaduna State, including myself, and 2 from Katsina. And we worked together up to some time. We did our best. I would say we were responsible for building that Barao Diko, that tall building,
Yes.
hospital.
Okay.
There was nothing there, but we decided to do so and also to equip it to the best of our ability. And it is now serving well. We built many health centers. I brought many health centers to Kaduna. Around Hongkwi, Gaza, all those places.
And then another professional opportunity came up for grabs. Dr. Tafida got appointed by civilian President Shehu Shagari as his personal physician, an appointment the radical left opposition governor of his state, Balarabe Musa, sought to truncate, as he saw more value in his service to the state above serving the president. The doctor felt otherwise.
The governor would see me every day, but he wouldn't say anything. So when I want to inquire, he said, doctor, I didn't know. I thought you are one of us. I didn't know you are for an NPN man. I said, I'm not an NPN man, and I'm not a PRP man. I'm only a civil servant. Yes. And I can work anywhere with dignity or respect.
Yes.
He said, they sent a letter that they want you to go and work with Shagari. I said, he said, what? This is what I saw it too myself. They had, at that time, they had a colonel, medical officer, who was in charge of the president's health, and he was advised to look for a civilian. So they kept on looking, scouting around. Ultimately, they zeroed on me. And by that time, when they zeroed on me, I was away at the Amirul Hajj to Kaduna State Hajj team. And when I came back, they said, the secretary to the federal government came looking for you here. He left his number here. He said, you should call him. Well, that is when I got to know why they were looking for me. I said, all right. So ultimately, when they agreed to release me with dignity, because they gave several parties to send me off, I went to Lagos. Shagari said, you are from where? I said, from Kaduna State, Zaria. He said, my wife too, one of my wives is from Zaria. I hope you're not, you joked in Sokoto, didn't you? You will not control me. They say, why? we do the work, I do my work professionally. So finished and I started my work. And very soon I became like one of them in the house. I could go there anytime. There was no place Shagari went in Nigeria or outside which I didn't go to. And he had told me so many things personal to him.
You lived a fulfilled professional life, but somehow along the line you got hijacked by politics. What was your motivation into politics?
So when Babangida took over and finally I left Kaduna, he disqualified all the old politicians, all. And actually, I was not a politician at that time.
Yes.
So I said, everybody to who will do the politics then? So people encouraged me to be in politics.
As you said, somebody in London said you look very much like Yakubu Gowon. Eventually, you found yourself contesting elections with the same Yakubu Gowon. What was that experience like?
Honestly, I didn't believe what people, the rumors people were conveying at that time.
Yes.
Until one evening they said they saw General Gowon in Zaria. He went to see the emir, late emir. He went to see this thing and so on. So later I confirmed he was going to. So you know the problem of politics. If you say you will contest for an office and you have a group, and then suddenly you turn around and say, no, I am not. One, people will say that you are being paid off.
Yeah, compromise.
Yeah. Secondly, you are not a serious politician. So your future will be bleak in politics. That's why I continue. But the Gowon is somebody I respect very much. And I just couldn't help it. They tried everything possible to make me withdraw. But politics, I said, sorry, it's difficult for me to withdraw. So that's why I found myself contesting. He was in my senior. We bury our college people. We respect ourselves.
Yeah.
Very much, but less seniors. We respect seniors. But let go on.
So what happened eventually?
Well, we had the election. The election was before everybody, including BBC, CNN, they all went to Zaria to watch the election, how it was conducted, and so on and so on. No contest. When my votes, I think, must have quadrupled or I don't know, multiplied it on about 5 times. But that was, so there was no contest.
Yes.
But I didn't feel well because I feel a bit bad that through an election I defeated somebody I most admire. I tried for a long time to meet with him somehow. It didn't work out until somehow by sheer coincidence we met. We cracked jokes and so on. And you know, go on, forgive and forget.
Yes.
He forgot. Then we invited him to London when I was the High Commissioner. He was the author, so to say, of NYSC.
Yes.
And those NYSC people who had scholarship to go and do some further studies in UK invited him invited Ahmad Ali, Senator Ahmad Ali, the first director of NYSC, to go and this, and they had some gifts for them.
Okay.
Surprisingly, only Gawan came. Gawan came. Senator Ahmad Ali said he didn't have the money to go to London just to accept a gift from kids. I said, well, it's good. I know he had the money, he just didn't want to come. There, the issue of defeating Gawang also came up.
At the London Forum.
He brought it. He said the High Commissioner spoke so well about me. The only thing he didn't say, he forgot, is that he defeated me in an election. So we laughed. I said, no, he's my boss. He will remain my boss forever.
You are twice a member of the Nigerian Senate under the People's Democratic Party. Your third attempt ended in a controversial circumstance.
No controversy. Anyway, go ahead, land your thing.
When your ticket was allegedly handed over to AMB D S, what actually happened?
Well, the word controversy should not be used. Now, I wanted to go back
Yes.
to the Senate for the third time.
Yes.
Then one day, I think it was in this house, when early in the morning, President Obasanjo called me. He said, sorry, sir, he calls me his leader. We have a meeting today, so in my office. I said, what? I'll be there. I didn't know it's about my ticket. So when I went there, I saw Ahmad Ali, again chairman of the PDP. I saw McCarthy, Governor McCarthy, Kaduna. I saw, of course, the president was there, and about 4 of them there, and only one this side. Obasanjo started by saying, sorry, when I told Governor McCarthy to withdraw from contesting the presidency, to leave it for Eradua, I never thought that you and our leader come from the same constituency with McCarthy. I said, I promised him that I was going to give him whatever he wanted. When he said so, it annoyed me. Then, of course, he said, but we'll give, if you want an ambassador, or if you don't want to go back to the Senate, we can give you a country of your choice. I said, but I didn't consult anybody. I decided I wanted to go back to the Senate. So the question of whether I want to go for foreign service or not is not relevant here, because if I would have not attempted to spend my money and, to win an election primaries, and then only to surrender it to somebody. No. So I was very tough too. And I did not write to say I surrender my ticket. They kept on harassing me. The chairman of the party kept harassing me. I said I would never go to Obasanjo to say I agree. Whatever he would give me, whatever position, I would not go. I was a leader, Senate leader who served him well. And I don't expect him to do that to me. So, ding dong, ding dong. I just left them to do whatever they like. Nobody can take what God has given me, what is meant for me, just like that. So somehow, Yaradua came. I did not even see him. He sent somebody to say he wants to give me something, whether I like it or not. But that's what his plan was before even he made any announcement of any government. There were no ministers at that time. Well, I said, yes, I'm prepared to serve anywhere. That's why I'm in government. I am prepared to serve. No position is too small or too big for me. That's all. And Yaradua, when he was compiling the list of ambassadors, meanwhile I was told Obasanjo want Ahmad Ali, the former national chairman, to go to London as the High Commissioner. They said something happened, I don't know. So my name was sent. He met with his kitchen cabinet and they selected me. And I found myself in London. It's good that God's change, always whatever, don't get disappointed or annoyed. When you wanted something, you didn't get it, you got another thing. It may always turn out to be a bit better. So that I found London as an opportunity for me to do something that I never did, diplomacy. I did that to the best of my ability. And I used my knowledge of previous assignments in government, and also my knowledge of the National Assembly to get the resources that I needed to transform the Embassy of London. To the extent that in history, London had never received a facelift transformation in terms of the structure, in terms of the service by the people, as we did during our time. So that's grateful. I'm grateful. Everybody, whoever is sent to London as a High Commissioner, they will always mention my name to him. And I'm so grateful to God that God allowed me to go there and to do what I did.
last public assignment was when you headed the presidential campaign of the former president, Goodluck.
Jonathan.
Yes. Which you delivered.
Yeah, well.
Which you delivered. Which you delivered. So what happened afterwards?
Well, we did the best we could. I was in London working. They called me in the night that a committee, a presidential campaign council or something, I decided that I should be contacted whether I would like to lead the campaign. I said, well, why not? I am in government service. That is part of my service. I will come. And so I left. I came home to hear from the president's mouth.
Yes.
I came. He confirmed. He said, will you be able to do it? I said, of course, I will do my best. I did it. And the most successful, you can see it was successful. Now, I felt good that I delivered. But in order not to show people that I want to do that because I am looking for some other offices.
Yes.
Any office you think you are enjoying and you are doing well,
yes,
stay within it. I showed them that I was not interested in any position after the campaign, except the secretary to government. That's so they had already zoned it to the southeast, and that's all. Nobody else said a word to me after that. Like I said in my interview at one time,
yes.
but before I left, President Jonathan and the Vice President Namadi Sambo
Yes.
invited me to a private room. We discussed the whole episode and so on. They thanked me very much. I am not now in any partisan politics, but I didn't say I have resigned, but I left my party, PDP, for the way it was behaving at that time. I resigned and stayed a non-partisan.
Okay.
I was watching. I didn't join any other party.
Up to this moment.
Up to this moment.
A cross-section of family members and associates of Dr. Alhatu Sarki Tafida describe him as a principled role model worthy of emulation.
Ambassador is my junior brother. We are the same father and mother.
Okay.
We are the only two that our mother born during her stay in life.
How was his character like when he was young?
Very nice, very good. It's a very good. Nobody you hear disturbing or should I say is disgust with his character. His character is fine, beautiful, and that is why he grew up and become the doctor. He is very educated, very hardworking.
I have been very closely related with him for over 3 decades. And he's somebody who you will always like to associate with because of his sterling qualities. The man is a paragon of virtues. He's somebody who has excelled in so many areas of human endeavor. He's a man of many parts. And you cannot exhaust any of the parts that you take in terms of his personality, his career. He is somebody, if you go to the academia, his intellectual prowess speaks for himself. Or, if you like, you go to his career as a civil servant. He has also reached the pinnacle of service. So also, if you go into politics, he has attained a position that is unrivaled within his own peers.
He's a super father in the sense that he tries as much as possible to encourage his children to be independent. And at the same time, he tries as much as possible behind the scene to encourage them in whatever legitimate endeavor they pursue. I will give an example with myself. He always encouraged me to focus on my studies. He also, and whenever he got information that I was going to do something which, you know, is doesn't break the law or anything, he encourages me. And whenever he sees me maybe mistakes along the line, he draws my attention and he corrects me. So he's what I call a super dad.
Baba is many things to many people, but personally, he's a disciplinarian. He's a gentleman, and he's someone who has a forgiving nature. That is what I will define him as. Now, through the course of childhood, maturity, and even now there are times that he has been more than a father. He's a very good confidant. You can sit with him for a few minutes and you gain a lot from him. There are things that his mind is more open to things than the next person. He, if he sits down and says he's going to do something, so inshallah he will do it.
Did you have an idea that he was going to become this accomplished personality?
No, I have no idea. It is very hard for one to know what one would be when you are young.
Yes.
But later on, when you see him graduating, doing so many things which other people are doing for the better, for the best, so you decide to think that he is doing very well.
Well, the lessons for Nigerians, as far as the conduct of the Alhaji Sarki Tafida is to emulate his virtues, because wherever he is a highly organized person, if you look at what he did in the Senate when he was a majority leader, and up to now, he is a role model in the assembly. When you talk about the area of diplomacy, he has left an indelible mark in Nigeria High Commission in London.
When I was a kid, he was a permanent secretary in the then North Central State, later Kaduna State. He was a commissioner. He was Shagari's medical physician. there was no interference from family. He was doing his work. We didn't even know the nature of his work. We had very even little contact with those he was working with. So that's why sometimes there was a time somebody came and met me, said, I know you don't know me. Say, I worked with your father in so and so place. I said, okay, me, I don't know. But you know, these days you find out that people who are in high offices, their family members are engrossed in the schedules of their offices, which is part of the problem that problems we are having in Nigeria.
There are many lessons for us as a people. We have to be, number one thing that we have to bear in all our minds, whichever faith we belong to, whichever culture we belong to, that God never sleeps. Whatever you do in life, you will see it. If you do good, you will see it. If you do bad, it doesn't even go anywhere. It stays with you. Number two, you have to put in something to get something. If you put good into something, you will get better. But you cannot expect to put something not good and expect good out of it. And we have to live with one another.
Indeed, the story of Dr. Tafida is a great lesson in history. A history of assertive resilience by a man that is an embodiment of rare talent and certain in his ability to reshape his personal destiny to the glory of humanity.